Hello, hello, my dear tarot lovelies. This is Shawnee at tarotmore.com. And for those of you that don't know, my name is spelled C-H-A-N-I, and tarotmore is T-A-R-O-T-M-O-R-E, because it's a portmanteau of tarot and amore. But phonetics aside, this is my little review and initial impressions of this deck called the Fairytale Oracle. And this is from, created by Nicole Feltovic. And she contacted me and asked me to review her deck, and she was so nice to send me a copy of it. And so these are just my initial impressions. For the full review, there will be a full review on my blog, and that link will be in the description of this video, and also a little pop-up right here. Doink! So feel free to click on either of those, and that will take you to the full review. So I'd just like to open this up and give you a little taste of what this deck is like. Now, I'm not sure how many cards there are in the deck off the top of my head. I believe there's 48. But let's go ahead. And so they're still working out some things with the packaging, she said when she sent the letter. But I still appreciate that this is a very nice box. I really like the artwork that's on the front. It's still a nice cardboard box, but let's go ahead and open up. Now, I have taken the plastic off these cards, so I had a little bit of a chance to kind of look at them, but I haven't really flipped through the deck yet. So it comes in this nice little bag, which would be great for carrying. All right, and so with these cards, they're based on different fairy tales. So like here we have Aladdin's lamp, and when you flip them over, there's a full description of what the card is like on the back, similar to what you might find in a LWB, Little White Book, or some sort of companion guide. So it's kind of nice that those are right on the cards themselves. And for people who are just learning, or this might be a great beginner's deck because of that. The only caveat with that is that I think there is a little bit of a temptation to kind of get a little stuck on the traditional meanings and not read the cards so much intuitively. So finding that balance there for sure, but I think it's still handy. And then once you get more familiar with the cards, I think you would kind of just work with the images on the front. So I'm gonna flip through these and let you kind of get a look at some of the artwork. And Alice peeking through the keyhole. So with the cardstock, these cards are pretty good. They're a little thin. I would have liked them to be a little bit thicker. Ariel. But I still think they have a good quality on them, and they would be nice because they're thinner. They would be good for shuffling. They have a matte finish, which is also very nice. And they're definitely not so thin that they're not flimsy. I think some of my favorite things about this deck that I see is just the artwork. I know Nicole is like a Reiki practitioner, and she's an intuitive and an artist, and I really can see that in her artwork. Aurora, so from Sleeping Beauty, and then you have the sun, just like with the rose, but you can see it on these cards, and it's really, I think these images this would be probably a great beginner's deck as I look at this. Blue Fairy's Kiss, see, from Pinocchio, I believe. And it says on the back, Blue Fairy's Kiss, the universe is trying to help you. And it goes through and explains the origin of the myths, or the fairy tales, I should say. And because the fairy tales are such a integral part of our society and those archetypes, it's similar to how the tarot works. You have those similar things going on. These stories are so much a part of our history and culture that they make these cards really easy to read, I would think. Another thing I appreciate about this deck is that the artwork almost goes completely to the edge. The borders on it are minimal, and I think that's actually really nice. It's nice to have, it's a little bit of a border, but it matches the colors on the cards. And I think the cards are good size too. There we had Cinderella, so you can kind of see that. I really love the artwork on this desk. I'm so excited to start working with it. Dancing puppets. Again, there's another Pinocchio one. And see this, there's great colors. And then we have Dorothy, Wizard of Oz, and Red Riding Hood. And actually, oh, Dreaming of the Ball, excuse me, this is Cinderella. This one is called Gifts from Heaven. So you can kind of see that there's different, you know, really nice colors. Nothing's too muted, but it's not so bright that it's distracting. I think these are really great images for intuition. Gifts from the Forest. This one's a little bit naughty, in my opinion. That snake be up to something. The deck does have a little bit of a feminine feel, but I think that's also, it's still pretty balanced. So I don't think if you are into more of a masculine feel, or if you kind of identify, it's not too girly, it's not too masculine or one way. It's still pretty balanced. And here we have the Lion King. And again, you have some great symbology with, like, with the Ankh, and then the I believe that's the Star of David, the 6-point star from Judaism. And then there's a little sun, and so you kind of have the dark and the night, and then you are not the victim. And yeah, so I think this would be a great, again, to reiterate, I think this would be a great beginner's deck. Little Mermaid, I love this. Look at this. It's so kind of almost tribal in how she interprets these images, but at the same time, you can really connect with them. And I think this would be a great, like I said, a great beginner's deck. Little Mermaid, speak your truth with love. And especially if you were just learning and one kind of a oracle deck. And it's nice to have the descriptions, like I said, on the back. And I really appreciate that so much thought and care went into the making of these cards. And then here we have the Mad Hatter. So again, I think this would be a great beginner's deck. The Magic Potion, and that is Visualize Your Transformation. Oh, this is from The Little Mermaid. Okay. And then Maleficent. Isn't that cool? It's like a dragon. Really great colors. Marigold. Again, this may be a little naughty. I kind of like that some of the cards are a little naughty. Mirror, Mirror. So overall, I think this is a nice deck. I think my only two main things for some people, again, I wish the cardstock was a little bit thicker, but it does have a nice matte finish, and it would make them easy for shuffling, like I said. And then I think the only other thing that might be a drawback or a plus for some is that this description on the back is kind of a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, it's great to have. It's quick reference, especially if you were doing a reading for someone else, but also it kind of does key you in to which card you pulled up. But as long as you weren't focused too heavily on the deck, or you could pick with your eyes closed, if you know, make sure it's truly random for you. But I think for some people, there might be a little bit danger here in getting hung up on traditional meanings and not reading intuitively. But like I said, the artwork is amazing, and the images are so simple. Like, there's plenty of detail with the colors, but they're also very simple, and I think they would be a great key for your intuition. So that's just kind of my initial walkthrough. And Pinocchio. We come in a lot with Pinocchio. I wonder if that means something. The Queen of Hearts. Oh, that's an awesome card. Okay, here we have Red Riding Hood. Red and the Wolf. Very cheeky. See, again, they're a little bit naughty. If you were really conservative, maybe that would be a problem, but I actually like it. I think that's fun. I think it also speaks to some of the darker. And we return to our regularly scheduled broadcast. No, hi guys. So yeah, my camera died, so I had to go run and charge it. But let's conclude this initial first impressions just real quick. The one last thing I wanted to say is that these, again, cheeky puns, but these cards are really light and playful, but I think they would also allow you to explore the darker sides of the fairy tales and those darker aspects of ourselves, so whether you're doing shadow work or anything like that, but in a really kind of safe, fun way. And see the little skeleton mask? So this has been my first thoughts on the Fairytale Oracle deck from Nicole Feltovic. And again, I will link to that in the description, or you can click on the one annotation that was earlier in this video. And my name is Shawnee, and I'm from tarotmore.com. Thanks for watching.